Happy Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, and we are in PSL number 3, and today's day 3. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's PSL is going to continue from yesterday. This is part C of this multi-part question that was an introduction to an iStep or Acuity type constructive response question. So I'm just going to real quick review with you what we did yesterday, the equation we came up with. The information that we were given yesterday was that for each call that she made, she was going to be charged 21 cents. So we've got the number of calls times 21 cents, and then we're going to add to that 6 cents per minute that she talked. And this is going to be our total bill. So today we're continuing on from there, and we're going to analyze this situation. So in February, Kathy made a total of 50 calls. She was charged $40.50. She claims that she talked for a total of 250 minutes on her calls made in February. However, Kathy is not correct. Explain why Kathy's claim is incorrect using words, numbers, and or symbols to justify your answer or to help explain your answer is what justify means. So we're going to pull our important information out of here. So first thing is that she made a total of 50 calls, and also that she was charged $40.50. And then we can go on and do our second part in just a minute. So let's use these two pieces of information and put them into our formula. Now that we have our formula, we can go ahead and we can solve for M so that we can find out the total number of minutes that she talked on her online phone calls in the month of February. So first you're going to need to start here on the left with this 50. We're going to have to distribute it to the parentheses that sits right next door. So 50 times 21 cents is going to give us $10.50. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem. This is about to get a little bit messy because we're going to start writing right on top of this question, but we'll go back through and we'll get rid of it in just a minute, and I want to get rid of that. I'm going to go through and I'm going to shape code. So I see right here I've got a positive 6 cents or 6/100ths M. And then here is my equal sign right here. And then next to those two I've got right here a number, and on this side a number. So we want to begin to solve for that M, which I've got circled. So we've got 1050 here on our left side that we're going to want to move. Now, because there's nothing in front of it, this is a positive 1050. So if we have a positive 1050 and we want to move it to the other side, what do we want to do? We want to subtract 1050. So if I subtract 1050 on one side, though, I have to subtract 1050 on the other side. So I'm going to do that. Now I have M, and it's being multiplied by 6/100ths, so to get rid of times 6/100ths, I want to do the opposite, and the opposite of that is to divide by 6/100ths. So I'm going to divide both sides by 0.06, and when we do that, we're going to get M equals 500. So let's make a little bit of sense of this data that we've come up with. We've come up with M equaling 500. But what does this mean? Well, this beginning part up here, 50 times 21 cents, is going to be a fixed rate because they tell us that we know for sure she made 50 phone calls. So 50 times our 21 cents is automatically, no matter what, going to be $10.50. And if we know that her bill was $40.50, then when we're deducting that from her total bill, subtract away that $10.50, which automatically will be included, we know that our minutes were going to cost us $30 because that's what we had left when we did $40.50 minus the $10.50. So we know that we have $30 wow, that's a really great dollar sign. We have $30 in our minutes, and I can't handle that dollar sign. I'm going to have to try and do it again. So don't drive me crazy. There we go. So when we go to do the phone calls, we know that the minutes altogether added up to a total of $30. If Kathy's claiming that she only talked for a total of 250 minutes, when we multiply 250 times 6 cents, aka make our M equal to 250, we only get a total of $15. So that is not including enough minutes to add up to 30, which would make our total bill, our 40.50. So we need to come up with a way to write this in words, numbers, and or symbols. So my first statement is going to kind of reiterate what the question is asking. So they're asking us to explain why Kathy's claim is incorrect. So I started my sentence with Kathy's claim is incorrect because, and then I started with our first piece of reasoning, which was we know that she made 50 phone calls and that each phone call was 21 cents. So that's going to give us a total of $10.50 just to begin with. Now we need to state what our total bill ended up being and find the difference so that we know how much money was used or was charged just for minutes alone. Next, we're going to add in a piece of info that explains how, because each minute costs a total of 6 cents per minute, if we had $30 in minutes, when we divide that by 6 cents, it would equal 500 phone calls. But our last piece of info will be that if she would have only made 250, then she would have only been charged 15 for those minutes instead of $30. So this sentence is going to have to continue on to the next page, but if she only used 250 minutes, then and this is where I realized I ran out of space, so I'm going to continue on the next page. So it would only have costed her $10.50 plus $15 for a total of $25.50 instead of the original bill, which was $40.50. So again, this is the kind of response that the Acuity graders, the iStep graders expect you to have if you want to receive full credit. It's kind of one of those things, like even if you're thinking it and you think you've got it all, you can never be too sure, so just make sure you keep writing until you feel like there's nothing else left to write. And one more day of PSL, and then we have PSL quiz on Friday, so you will be turning these in on Friday.